I guess in terms of like a little more long term, what are your expectations on when do you think the condo market will come back?
Yeah.
Meaning like able to launch pre-sales and
Their stuff's
sell
moving.
70%. Yeah.
My default is we don't forecast anything, but that's like, I don't want to cop out. So I'll share my personal view on this. And by the way, what's this based off of? I'll tell you. I don't think there's a robust condo market for another 3 years.
Wow.
Don't hold me to it. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
By the way, like I would love to wear it if I'm wrong. It'd be great. Much prefer to be wrong.
Right.
But why do I say that?
You're just saying that so you can go buy all the good sites.
No,
I know. That was like the next question.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, listen, we are buying the good sites. We're trying to.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, like,
actually, that would be perfect timing, basically.
it'd be perfect timing.
Yeah.
I'll answer your question in two ways. Firstly, when this all started, let's call it unraveling. Call it May, almost this time, like in 2022. It's almost been 3 years. For the record, like I'm 35. I've been working for 15 years. I've only seen a good market.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I saw like a rough market, like a 2011. Turns out it wasn't rough.
Right.
So we're learning as we go here. But one of the things that I looked at, I said, okay, well, in 2010, 09 to 11, that was kind of like 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that was a tough condo market, like tough broader market. So I'm like, okay, 2 years, and then I saw COVID. I'm like, well, that kind of happened a little bit faster. Obviously there was like a crazy monetary easing and just like just a massive influx of capital into the space. And so I mistakenly just said, you know what, I think things move faster today. I think we have more access to information. People are more able to shake things off and reset. And so I said, I think we have 2.5 to 3 years of, let's call it like a stale market, quiet, before it has legs again.
Right.
Well, we're 3 years into it now. I can tell you I'm wrong, right? Like the market's even worse.
Right.
And so then I go back and I talk to some mentors and people who've like have a lot more, experience than I.
Yeah.
And when I speak to them, they say, well, look, back in the 90s, this was like a 6-7 year cycle. And so I'm starting to adopt that mentality of thinking, okay, maybe it could be longer. And then just my personal boots on the ground experience, it's kind of like the stages of, I can't remember what it's called, maybe the stages of grief, but it's like first, there's like, whatever, like exuberance, and exuberance turns into, you start like accepting reality. And after you accept reality, you go further down and like,
right.
and like,
this is like a leaf
denial, acceptance.
Yeah, denial, acceptance. That's exactly. Like I'm doing a poor job of articulating this, but like, when in 2022, I was like, guys, I think there's a problem. And people were like, no, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And then like in 2023, people were like, no, there's a problem, but it's going to get better soon.
Right.
And then now people are like, okay, there's a problem, but listen, I'll sell it to you at my cost. And I'm like, well, that has nothing, that's not relevant to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think we have a bit more ways to go.
Right.
And again, that's just based off of the way people are interacting, right, in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I won't speak to your business, but I'm sure what you've seen is that price gap really start to taper in over the last 6 months, 9 months, as people kind of realize like this is not going to get fixed in the near term. I'm not suggesting it's going to get much worse or much better. But even if we're just where we are today, that's not a great outcome. And so my view is that things will probably get modestly worse. I don't know how much worse, but I don't see them getting better.
Right. And if we follow the knock-on effects of your timeline of 3 years, I won't hold you to it.
Yep.
But like, what else happens there? Where do the real opportunities open up? Where do people experience the most challenges? Like, what do you see happening?
Look, I'm just like a fundamentals based investor. So for me, a robust market created a lot of opportunities in the outer 416, 905. I think a lot of that is gone. Because ultimately high-rise living in particular, or multifamily, it's appealing when the low-rise lifestyle typically is out of reach financially.
Right.
And what we're finding is obviously there's been a reset in low-rise as well as high-rise. And so people, if they can break into the low-rise market, assuming there's a supply and availability, there is supply, that's where their dollars are going to go first. And that spread between low rise and high rise, it's very wide today. But if you look at it on a sub-market basis, it's far less wide in places like Kitchener or Guelph or Hamilton. And that makes sense. Those places were not really high-rise condo markets up until recently.
Right.
And, I think a lot of people saw those markets as like they're maturing, because I think that's what high-rise really indicates. It's a maturing and growth of a market. Today, I go back to where the market was already mature and had grown, which is in the downtown.
Right.
So today, I'm very focused on the downtown. I think of like when I think of our business and our appetite for land acquisition, I want to say, and people who know me, I say this all the time: Front Street to Finch, Yonge, 200 meters east, 200 meters west. If I don't know the side street, you better tell me really quick where it is. And if I don't know, and I don't think it's a great neighborhood, and what makes a great neighborhood? Access to transit, good schools, high home prices. I need a value proposition.
Right.
We have to get back to selling homes. When you sell homes, it's not just here's a building. It's why do I want to live here? Well, the homes are $2.5 million. The condos are $800,000. So you have check mark.
Right.
It's in a great school district. It's a top 10 school district in the city. Great. People who have young families care about that. Check mark. Hey, your groceries are across the street. It's always across the street. Check mark. And like, why is that stuff important? Because when the market comes back, there's going to be a ton of people launching. And so now you're competing against other great projects, and you have to be well positioned. And I think the dollars are going to come back to the downtown first, because that's where urban living truly is the strong preference.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, it's where like the gap in value is the most wide. Like the difference between a high rise condo and like a semi-detached in the city of Toronto is crazy. It's like $700,000. So like people are going to buy that condo.
Yeah.
That's not the same in Mississauga where I grew up.